Corral trailhead. There was a fire, but it's going to be nowhere near where I'm at. Hey everyone, it is May 20th, 2025. I am in New Mexico, heading back into the Gila wilderness. Been a while since I've filmed a video from here, yeah, this is going to be a loop of the Middle Fork and West Fork of the Gila River. Those who are not filming their hikes can probably do it in 4 or 5 days maybe. This trail that I'm heading up on is from the TJ Corral Trail. Today we're only heading up about 4¼ miles to the Middle Fork of the Gila River. I'm going in via Little Bear Canyon. So I'm not gonna go up like the beginning of the Middle Fork, because last time I went through there were a lot of beaver ponds. And frankly, I'm starting out pretty late in the day. It's like 2:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. So I kind of just want to have a short day today to get into the wilderness. So let's start hiking. There's a trailhead down there. It is pretty hot and dry out right now. In fact, I almost didn't bring any rain gear, but there's like a small chance of rain on one of the days. So I thought, okay, I'll at least bring my rain jacket. Okay, we're going to take the way for the Middle Fork. This goes into Little Bear Canyon. So we're gonna climb up and over this mesa and then down into the Middle Fork. This trail into Little Bear Canyon is just beautiful. It's really easy to follow all the way through. Pretty easy hike for today, real short, not much climbing. I'm very curious about the state of the Middle Fork right now, because I did it 2 Novembers ago. I did this loop 2023, and there were just tons of beaver ponds. They were deep, and at one point I was hiking like directly in the Middle Fork of the Gila River, like down it for a short ways. But we'll see if that's still the case this time. Hey, maybe it's even worse. We'll see. Nice view right here of this lone juniper. You see those white buildings over there in the distance? I think that is the Middle Fork Trailhead and the visitor center over there. you can see, it's very, very dry. I won't be having any fires on this trip because there's currently stage 2 fire restrictions. That's fine because I feel like I never make campfires anymore. Campfires have been kind of a taboo subject in recent years in the desert Southwest. So I'm all for no fires in the wilderness. Only a few years ago, I would have been weirded out by backpacking trips where I didn't build a fire. It would have been rare. These days, it's rare if I do build a fire. I've been walking through this juniper forest kind of upslope. It looks like we're gonna head down into Little Bear Canyon now. Trail is off that way. But let's get a better look at the canyon we're dropping into first. I do believe the rest of the hike is downhill. I've never seen this pouring off. I bet it does that early in spring. Probably a pretty cool waterfall over there, a little cascade. We're almost into the Little Bear Canyon Narrows. Really interesting eroded hillside. Here, check out this eroded hillside that I was just filming before. Man, there's like a landslide that came through here and just decimated these trees. Wow. So now we're heading down the Little Bear Canyon, the main branch of it. Looks like we got some water. Yep. So there's a spring that feeds this. It starts flowing over here. This could get a little slippy. It is muddy. All that noise coming from this tiny little guy here. All that to avoid this. Huh. Guess there's multiple ways you can go. Man, some of this mud is deep and slippery. So here's this little narrows we're entering for a Little Bear Canyon. Some type of little back cave over here. Towering vertical walls now. And in here, just this little tiny stream is carving out this canyon. Pretty amazing, the power of water. Okay, I am Entering the middle fork of the Gila River. Okay, this is the end of Little Bear Canyon. I'm going to be camping imminently. This is kind of funny, like comically huge tree, like fell. It's just massive, massive, massive tree. That's hilarious. Well, anyway, here's the middle fork of the Gila River, right down here. But we're gonna see more of that in a second. Okay, I've bypassed the tree. There's a campsite I know of down here. It's cool. Actually, take it back. There's actually a campsite like right here off the trail, and I like it. I'm gonna chill over here for the night. All right. I think I'm done hiking for today. Real hard hike, 4.5 miles, mostly downhill. All right, let's set up camp. Okay guys, here's all the food I brought for my trip. My whole backpack is just stuffed full of banana chips and M&Ms. Yep, that's all that's in there. Through the magic of video, my camp is set up. Hey look, I even made a clothesline. Cliffs. And down here's our water. Let's go down to the middle fork and get some water. This little path down to the river kind of sucks. I forgot about all the bushwhack. Get down here. This is the middle fork of the Gila River. I'll be thrashing up this river tomorrow. Check it out. The campsite's just through there. And you guys are in for a treat. This is just the beginning of these kind of views. Check it out. Here are the maps that I brought. There's this company called Outdoor Trails Maps. And I'm bringing the Gila Wilderness West and East. I do have kind of a new thing I'm doing, which is that making enough boiling water all at once for both dinner and tea in the same boil. That seems to allow me to do like just a tiny small like 110 gram canister for a trip of this length, and it works okay as long as I just do like cold breakfast. Yeah, watch pot never boils. So yeah, I got the big earth sack out for this one. Here's a little bit of my food. Tonight I'm making tuna mac. I'm putting this freeze-dried cheese in it. I talked about that before. And it's just repackaged blue box mac and cheese and some peanut butter. No, I'm joking. I'm putting the tuna in it. See, I only had to do one boil, and I've got tea. So you can make these little canisters work for a lot longer if you're careful with how you use your fuel. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this tuna and cheese cement, and that's the end of day one. Morning. It's day 2. I'm going about 9 miles up to the Meadows to camp there for the night. Let's go. Here's the big camping area at Little Bear Canyon. So the one I stayed at is a little bit off from this main area. There were a couple guys over here last night. I talked to them right before I got to my campsite, but there's got to be at least 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe individual campsites over here. I'm sure it's pretty popular when the season is bumping. Like the Saturday or Sunday that I come out of here, that's Memorial Day weekend. So when I'm heading down the West Fork, I fully expect there to be actual like crowds of people camping out when I'm making my way out of here. See, this down here is the middle fork of the Gila River. I'm going to be making a lot of crossings, probably about as many as 20 crossings per mile, maybe more. It's very much a river hike. A lot of the hiking along the rivers looks like this. You're just kind of hiking in sort of otherwise pretty dense forest. But pretty frequently we cross the river. These cliffs are just almost impossible to film properly. They're so enormous. Water level is kind of low. It was only like a little over foot, maybe lower ankle deep over there. There was one spot where I got mid-calf. Really shallow water so far. Again, I just can't express in words how massive these towering canyon walls are. I just think there's nowhere else quite like it. Middle Fork down there. It's not that deep. It's maybe a foot, maybe close to a couple feet in some spots. I'm sure it gets deeper elsewhere, but yeah. There's a bunch of deer over there. I'll film them in a second. I thought there was a person crossing, but it's just about 4, 5, 6, 7 deer. I just heard them going through this water crossing. This is about knee-deep crossing. So you might be able to see the deer over there. Going down and into and out of these river crossings is what makes these river hikes take longer than your usual on-trail hike. Always got to slow down at the crossings because the rocks can get slippery and sometimes the water is a little bit deeper than you expect. You should have seen these plants when it was November. They were all covered in frost at like 12 p.m. Hey buddies. I have to wait till they cross. They're kind of going the same way I am. So I think we might all be traveling as a singular party here soon. It's just so shallow. My feet are barely even getting fully submerged. Okay, I was a little confused. There's two different trails. This one goes through what used to be a big beaver pond. I did this 2 Novembers ago, this loop, and this was completely impassable. It was completely submerged. I couldn't see how deep it was. So on that trip, I was actually hiking in the middle fork itself, which was way deeper. It was over knee deep, and I was just hiking down it because I couldn't pass through this spot that I'm hiking through right now. So you can see this was all submerged. And this looks like the remnants of one of the parts of the beaver dam to me. So you can see the remnants of that still over here. Okay, so this is interesting to me. That's the way forward. But over here is actually the middle fork. And this time, this has the beaver dam in it, and it's a big beaver pond. Tons of little froggies. What a beautiful day. Ooh, look at that duck go. Huh. Here's a big old swimming hole over there. That thing's always there. Guys, it's hot and sunny. I gotta make a lot of water breaks on this trip. This is where Jordan Hot Springs comes out as a little creek into the Middle Fork. Right here. I was gonna go hang out at Jordan Hot Spring for a minute, but there's somebody there. So I don't want to be a weirdo. Hey, let's check out this big tadpole. It's about this, almost the size of my hand. I am crossing over a beaver dam. I'm not sure if this is going to hold or not. Oh, it holds. Okay, cool. Epic. Wow. A little bushwhacking, not bad. I figured it would be like this in May. Green, a little bit bushwhacky. Now we're to the reed section. A couple Novembers ago, it was like noon or even like 1 p.m. and these were covered in frost still. It was real cold on that trip. Guys, I literally can't film myself hiking through this area and capture these cliffs. They're just too high. There's another big swimming hole over here. Check out these canyon walls. It's totally vertical. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of deep and stagnant water. Let's see how deep this gets. Oh, it's not that deep. It's only ankle. That wasn't even the river, that was just a pond. Here's another look back, direction I came from. Some of the best views you get out here, you have to stop and turn around. All right, let's keep going. Got a few more miles to the Meadows. Can't stop spamming my camera at these canyon walls. But I guess that is what you come out here for. Oh, cute. Haha, there's been a bunch of these. Oh my gosh. Oh. Hey. Spooky. I think I got 2.5 miles left to get to the Meadows. I'm slipping and sliding around on these rocks. Ooh. This is a little spooky. Dark forest. We're about to have some of our best views yet. Some trout down there. I can hear them. I've seen a bunch of them swing earlier. Down trees over here, big tree branches. This is kind of a deeper crossing point, but it's still really nothing. It's just barely ankle deep. Shot tadpoles. It's been a long day. I've been filming a lot, so it's made this 9-mile hike take all day long. It's almost 5. I started around 10:30. That gives you an idea of how long these hikes take along a river, and then when you're filming it, makes it take about twice as long. A little bit on the deep side. Still not deep. like maybe close to knee deep, that one. Close to the Meadows, less than half a mile out. It's been a long time in forest where there's no views, but every time you cross, you get some views. Every time you cross the river. Well, this is pretty gross. I'm supposed to walk through this? There's frogs in there. I might have made a wrong turn somewhere. This is pretty gross. It's like a swamp bog thing. I found a way around that disgusting mud hole. All right, so we're just about to the meadow, guys. And it's this big opening coming up. This is where I'm gonna camp. I have made it to, well, almost to the Meadows. That's definitely more than 8¼ miles back to Little Bear. It's closer to 9. 9 very slow river miles. I think this hike has taken me like 8 hours. It's kind of crazy. So there's a route that goes up there. I might take that tomorrow, or I might continue up the Middle Fork. I think I'll decide later tonight. But I am very close to where I want to camp, if nobody happens to already be there. Nope, there were people where I wanted to camp. I am not surprised. This is the in season. So I am going to take this other campsite that I found. It's a little bit far from the water, but I'll just go get water right now and come back. I'll get like 6 liters and I won't have to deal with it till morning. So yeah, I'm gonna camp over here. But I gotta go down and get water real quick. It's not far. Hey guys, not my first pick of campsite, but it's been pretty busy out here in the Meadows. So camp is set up for night 2. And yeah, it's not much to speak of. It's just a flat spot. There's not really even anywhere to sit. I'm not sitting on this log. It's full of bugs and other little creepy crawly nasties. So yep, I'm just gonna sit on the floor and cook dinner. But yeah, this is technically the Meadows. I do kind of wonder if these people across the way can know that everybody can hear them. I decided I didn't feel like cleaning up a mess tonight, so I just poured boiling water right into the bag for this curry chickpeas. So I'm gonna get a nice dose of forever chemicals. Delicious. I think tomorrow I'm probably gonna head up Big Bear, go up on top of Jackson Mesa. I think that's what the mesa is called that's behind me, that you see like up there. So I think I'll probably will visit Prior Cabin. I don't know if I'm gonna camp up on the mesa. I'll play that part by ear. Heading over the mesa, it's all trails and it's a lot faster than doing these slow river miles. I really love the Middle Fork and the West Fork of the Gila River. One of my favorite places to hike ever. But when you film these hikes, it just takes forever. I mean, it took like 8.5 hours for me to get through only 9 miles. When I did this hike in like 2 Novembers ago, I think I got through this day in under 4 hours. So that just shows you just how much time I spent setting up the camera and tearing it down and doing all that stuff. Yep. Anyway, I'm just waiting for this experimental curry to finish rehydrating. Oh, see, what's crazy is it was just like soup before, and now it's not like soupy at all. I think I nailed it with the water. Okay, so you can see there's nice big chunks of bell peppers in here. There's nice big chunks of chickpeas in here. These rehydrate really nice from the food dehydrator. Okay guys, I'm gonna eat this and go to bed. Don't have anything else to talk about, so that's the end of day 2. See you tomorrow. Morning. It's day 3. Just got up a little while ago. It's like almost 8 a.m. I was just thinking about my trip ideas this morning, and I think I figured out what I'm going to do is I am going to go up and over the mesa and drop down into Hell's Hole. That's where I'm going to camp tonight, and in the process I'm going to visit Prior Spring or Prior Cabin, same place. So that's going to take me about, I think I looked at the map, about 10.5 miles, a couple thousand feet of climbing and descending. So it should be like a pretty good, like kind of average challenging hiking day. Nothing like too strenuous, but also like a really good workout. And I remember that trail up from the Middle Fork from this side, I think it's called Big Bear Canyon Trail. That one is kind of a lung buster, so I'll take my time up that, and then it's just heading over the mesa down to another set of switchbacks down to Hell's Hole. That's what I'm gonna hike. Now it's time for some ramen breakfast. So I'm gonna be going up this mesa. It's called Jackson Mesa, up and over it, down into the West Fork of the Gila River. I think this is gonna take about, most of the day. It's gonna be 10.5 to 11 miles, I think. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna get to a spot called Hell's Hole, and that's where I'm gonna camp. I do have to cross the Middle Fork one more time because I'm on the far side of the Meadows. I need to get to the other side where that mesa is. I think you gotta cross through here. A little bushwhacking. Get to the Middle Fork. There we go. Where would we cross? I was like trying to figure out if there's a place to not get my feet wet, because this is going to be the only creek crossing of the day. I got nice dry socks on, but it doesn't look like there's gonna be any way to not get my feet wet. I'll go search around. I think there's some big logs over here across the whole creek I might be able to cross. You know, this feels like a lot of extra work just to keep my feet dry. But it looks like there's potential over here. I feel like I did this last year. Oh, there's a clear path right here. A beautiful view. See if this cup of grass is stable. Oh. I got my right foot wet. Just a little bit. It'll dry real quick. So here was one of the spots I was hoping to camp last night, but there was a big group here. I could hear them for quite a while. I think the Big Bear Trail is around here somewhere. I forget where it is exactly. Gotta go search around. I think it's to the left. Here's a trail. This is the way up. I remember it being signed, but I guess it's just cairned. Yep, here's where we're going. A couple thousand feet of climbing. So as far as climbing days, it's on the milder side compared to like high mountains. But it still, you know, it's a lot of steep switchbacks. It climbs really quick. It's very similar to climbing up the Mogollon Rim. So it's a bit of a lung buster. So I'll just take my time on up. This is looking up the Middle Fork. And down there, where all that green is, that is the Middle Fork itself, where I was hiking yesterday. Another switchback. There's so many on this. cool view. I think I'm like maybe a half to 2/3 the way up. There's just a million switchbacks. I am close to the top. Let's go check out the scenic view, guys. This is a bit of a vertigo-inducing view. Should be able to see the middle fork and the meadows down there. And before you know it, the middle fork pops back out around that gooseneck down there. So we hiked down, or hiked up all that yesterday. This is looking up the middle fork of the Gila River. There's good camping up here if you wanted to, if you brought the water. The only place to get water up here probably this time of year is Prior Spring. I'm gonna go check out Prior Spring because it's had water all the times I've been through here. Okay. So we're heading to Prior, 3.5 miles. Alright, the hike is going to be like this most of the day. It's going to be really open ponderosa pine forest. This is a lot like the Black Mesa Trail in the Superstition Wilderness. It's like this weird, dark, packed down dirt with like a lot of, it looks like pumice, like almost like volcanic rocks. It's a little bit annoying to walk on because like every rock that you step on is an ankle roller. Kind of just open forest as far as the eye can see. It's a little bit surreal. I don't know why it's different here than it is on the Mogollon Rim, but it just is. It's just a different kind of place. Okay, I think I finally topped out and I'm going downhill now, and I think this stays downhill till Prior Cabin. Then I'm gonna have to climb back up about 500 feet through the forest before topping out again. And then we'll make our way down to Hell's Hole. So the lower parts of this tree canopy burned. I think it must have been last summer or something, because it wasn't this burned last time I came out. So it's getting kind of a little surreal and ugly through here. That's how it goes. Be able to see one of the water catchments over here. Yeah, we're just about to Prior Cabin. It's just up ahead. I'm gonna have lunch over there. Here's the cabin. I don't think anybody's over here right now. The real question is there water at Prior Spring? Oh, it kind of spooked me. It was just the wind blowing on that window. All right, this is Prior Cabin. It's always fun seeing these old bones and relics and whatnot. It's just a rusty old spring and a rare earth magnet. This is the little kind of stringer creek that normally feeds into Prior Spring, and it looks dry. Let's go see if the cistern has any water at all. Oh, it's deeper over here. Yeah, it looks totally dry. Well, that's a bummer. Let's check this out. Yep, entirely dry. Wow, that's good to know. It was an extremely dry winter, so this is not that surprising. It's a bit of a bummer because I was thinking about maybe camping up on top of this mesa, like with the view down into the West Fork, but I don't have enough water on me. I only have 1.5 liters currently. I mean, I gotta go about 6.5 miles uphill and downhill, a lot of sun exposure to get down to the West Fork. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna camp down at Hell's Hole. Just sameness in every direction. I get a little creeped out in places like this. I don't know why, I just do. Yeah, not really any views. Mainly this route just serves as a go-between between the two kind of river systems. It's a far cry from where we started out this morning. When I camped last night, there were just tons of people. I think there were at least probably 5 or 6 groups, not including myself, camped around the Meadows area. There's some people making some noise, but it really wasn't that bad. And today I haven't seen anybody. I just don't think you see a whole lot of people. Everybody kind of spaces out when they get up here because there's a lot of trails up on this mesa. It's kind of vast, kind of just a big, vast, open forest. I decided to cross country it to take off a little bit of mileage. I imagine the trail is built way down there to avoid snow that normally develops in this hill that I'm on right now. But there's no reason not to do this when there's no snow. So the trail should be right up here, but whew, it's steep over here. Okay. Whew. Here's my trail. That's where I would have come from if I had stayed on the trail. And this is where I'm going. But first, let's take a look at where we're dropping into. Let's get the scenic view over here. Let's see. Find a good spot. All right. So looking down into the West Fork of the Gila River. Check it out. All right, this is looking down into the area where I'm going to camp tonight. Down in the base of that canyon there is Hell's Hole and the West Fork of the Gila River. If memory serves, I actually have to go around this rim of the mesa around here, and somewhere in that area where it slopes down, you can see it sloping down, I believe that's where the Hell's Hole Trail goes, and that's going to take me down there. I have about, I'm going to guess about 3 to 3.5 miles, maybe 4, I don't know. Hey, look what we finally got. Man, it's just been 2 hours of dense forest hiking. What do we got here? Hell's Hole, 1.5 miles. Okie doke. We're going that way. This 1.5 miles should be all downhill, descending into the hole, the Hell's Hole. little bit loose and rocky through here. You kind of can't go very fast. You gotta watch every step. This is a cool, expansive vista. This is really interesting kind of sandstone formations, like a big flat spot over there. That's really interesting. And over there's my destination. I should probably be finding a campsite around 5:30, 5:40, which is perfect. I think I'm almost off of these switchbacks, and then I'll be camping. You can see the water glistening down there. I'm very thirsty. I'm just about out of water. I think there is a campsite really nearby. I gotta go search for it. I think it might be, I don't know, it's up around here somewhere. Made it. Haha, I made it. Okay. I found the actual trail. I'm just gonna camp at the first next site. Probably like right over here. I don't know, there's like caves over here. It's kind of weird. Actually, this is pretty cool. Oh, I'm totally taking this site. Hell yeah. What a cool campsite. Put my tent over here. Yeah, it's time to get water. Okay, dinner is on. Tonight is going to be the Big Bean lunch, also known as a burrito bowl. This is the one that I usually bring. This one's going to be good because it's kind of doctored up, kind of supreme. It's got the bell peppers and the cheese and the green onions, rice, beans, and then I've got some hot sauce. I think this is Valentina hot sauce. Yep, and more cheese. This is actually for snacking on. Freeze-dried cheese. M&Ms, banana chips. I was kind of a little bit bad at the gas station in Silver City, so I got a bunch of snacks, foods. Well, the footage made it seem really short, but I was hiking all day long. It was just mostly forest. It was kind of interesting to see that the prior spring was dry. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it was a really, really dry winter, so makes sense. That kind of sucks because that really dampens your camping options up on top, unless you want to carry a bunch of water around with you. But overall, it was a pretty smooth hike. I consider that, like, going over Jackson Mesa to be sort of a necessary evil in order to complete this loop. So the rest of the hiking will be by the West Fork of the Gila River. That's what we're doing tomorrow. I don't know how far I'm going to get tomorrow. Hopefully at least 8-9 miles, river miles, so you know that'll be probably all day. And then if I do that, that should set me up for under 7 miles, probably closer to 6 miles back to the car on Saturday, on day 5. My water is about to boil, so see you guys tomorrow. It's time to get on the trail for day 4. So today I'm going to head down the West Fork of the Gila River, about probably 10 miles or so. I want to get to a specific point. There's a place where it's marked cliff dwelling on my map, and I think there's some good camping over there, and that'll put me within about 6 miles of the car for Saturday on day 5. The reason I'm trying to actually kind of get through this quicker now that it's close to the weekend is because we're approaching Memorial Day weekend, and the Gila Wilderness can probably get pretty crowded on a holiday weekend like that. So I'm trying to get out on Saturday instead of Sunday. Already several people came through the trail right next to my site yesterday, and it was, what was it? That was Thursday. So it's going to get more busy as we go. And that's just part of backpacking in the USA. It's just holiday weekends get crazy. Here, this isn't the actual route, but I just thought this was a really pretty spot over here. This is part of Hell's Hole. This is a really nice branch of the West Fork coming through here. You kind of climb up and over to get out of Hell's Hole. You get a little flavor of Utah in here with the sagebrush. Huh. Sagebrush and deep sand for trails. That's very Utah. But this is New Mexico. This area of the West Fork is not unlike the Meadows in the Middle Fork. It's just kind of this open, grassy, open treed kind of area. There's still some people camping out here. You see a tent up ahead. So you'll recognize this campsite maybe. I stayed in the Hell's Hole area in 2019 in the video that I made. Good times. All right. We're about to enter a really scenic part of the West Fork of the Gila River. Here's a big old washout. Check this out. How massive this washout is. They were big washouts after a fire that happened a few years ago. I don't remember when. But it decimated a large chunk of the, I want to say that's the south bank of the West Fork. I think this section is high up because this part of the river frequently floods. I can see down here how deep it is, how low water even. This is one of those don't forget to look up kind of hikes. Really easy to miss these kind of details if you're looking down at the trail and hiking along. We've got to start crossing. Go around to where it's shallow. Welcome to the jungle, baby. A little fin rock over here. Slick rock down there. I think this is the slick rock section that we have to cross. Yeah, I don't love this crossing. Very slick. It's all slick rock on the bottom. it gets to be kind of dense and jungly in here a little bit. Over here actually. Forget that there's a lot of slick rock in the crossings of the West Fork. Unlike the Middle Fork. Hey, check this out, guys. Mid-ankle depth. This is one of my favorite spots in the West Fork. Really cool looking spires. Drowned out by the sun though. Just like I was saying, guys, you don't see anything. You're in the dense forest. And then these views just pop out of nowhere. Incredible. And there's some type of cave over there, some type of bat cave. It's actually massive. You could fit like a small house in that. right up to it. It was super weird. It was like a giant washout after a fire burn, and the trail is kind of not really very clear over here. A little bit of guesswork involved. There are some long dry sections too. That makes the going a lot quicker. So you do have sections where it'll take you 2 hours to go 2 miles. And then you have nice fast trail like this stuff that climbs up out of the river and kind of just hugs the contours of the canyon wall. These are the infamous washouts, where they're saying it's not passable for horses. If you ask me, this really isn't that bad. There is one that's worse coming up. There's a washout that's like legitimately kind of a little drop in and hop out kind of situation. Yeah, it's a little washed out through here. This is what wildfires do to a place. Every time I really get going with the miles, I gotta stop because these views keep opening up. I just want to take in these views. I've forgotten how much you actually aren't next to the creek. Most of the day, you're probably up high away from the creek, but you still cross it a lot. I've probably crossed it probably between 20 and 30 times already. Here's the big deep pool. It's probably a little over knee deep-ish. I think this is probably one of the deeper crossings. Ooh. It's only knee deep. Other times of year, it'll be way deeper. It'll go up to crotch level or maybe deeper than that. But right now, this time of year, it's not that deep. Started seeing people all of a sudden. This is the part of the river that's way more popular to see people camping by. So I don't know. I'm like within 8 miles of the Gila cliff dwellings, I think. So I saw like one solo backpacker and then a duo, and I think I saw one other. So for how far in we are, it's kind of a lot. So it's Friday before Memorial Day, so I kind of expect there to be a lot of people, which means I might not have the best choice of campsite. So I'm just gonna take whatever I can get. This might be like the most scenic kind of amphitheater part of the West Fork. This right here. The iconic view. All right. Worth the little climb. I just find the cone-shaped geology to be so interesting looking. I think I'm gonna hike a couple more goosenecks and then I'm gonna call it a day. I think I found myself a campsite. I was just checking my water access. So water access is good. Here's the view of my campsite that I haven't even shown you guys yet. Nice big trees. It's a big outfitter site, but there's nobody here. So I'm claiming this spot tonight. Beautiful campsite. I've been here a couple hours. Currently getting some water filtered through the magic of gravity. It filters without me. Not very far, are we? This is the West Fork, the Gila River, where I'm getting water from. There's kind of some hills, and then there's kind of some rock spires over here, but not a whole lot. Let's see if we made any progress on our water. Takes a while if you just use gravity and don't squeeze it, but you know, then you don't have to squeeze. Today's hike was pretty awesome. It's not a particularly challenging hike. Really, it's just crossing the river many times. More times than, you lose count. So I'm going to give you my thoughts for this trip. Tomorrow I'm just going to hike out that 5.5 miles. So I'm not going to really, chat at the trailhead. But thoughts for this trip, liked it. I think May is a really awesome time to be out here. Everything's green. There's plenty of water. Speaking of that, Prior Spring was dry. I was shocked. In fact, there was a lady hiker on her way in, and she asked me about Prior Spring because she's doing the same loop just in the reverse. And I was like, nothing at Prior Spring. And she was as shocked as I was. So I was like, yeah, it's going to suck for you because you're going to need to carry a lot of water over that mesa. Is what it is. I did it with just 2 liters of water on my back, and I was pretty dehydrated by the end of that day. What was that, day 3? Yeah, day 3. Differences between the West Fork and the Middle Fork. They are different river canyons. They don't both look the same. There are more of these like cone type features in the West Fork. Those towering, I don't know what you want to call them. They're like cones. There's more of them in the West Fork, for sure. And the water tends to be a little bit deeper on the West Fork. Some of the crossings are going to be deeper, so if you're coming out here during snowmelt season. The Middle Fork has just a different character about it. It feels like higher altitude. I don't know how else to describe it, but it feels like a higher altitude experience once you get up to the Meadows. I can't say the same for the West Fork. Until you get up to like White Creek Cabin, then you start to get kind of a in the pines feel, like a really in the pines feel. Most of the hiking when you're not in the river is in the Middle Fork. It's along kind of a little bit above a floodplain. You're out kind of just in the canyon bottom, and there is a lot of crossings in the Middle Fork. Gosh, I lost count. I mean, there's just hundreds of river crossings. But they're not that bad because it's so shallow. Whereas in the West Fork, there's not quite as many river crossings, but there's still a lot. Enough to slow you down where you can call it, yes, this is river miles. But the West Fork has this whole other character when you climb up out. So day 3, don't get me wrong, like the views are cool going in and out of the mesa. Once you're up on top of the mesa, it is just boring ponderosa forest far as the eye can see, and it's not even flat. Like if it was flat, I'd be like, all right, but it's not even flat up there. Like you go just up and down constantly. Like you go down into Prior Cabin and you have to climb back out the other side. So you're climbing no matter what, even if you're just crossing the mesa. Overall, enjoyable trip. There's a reason why I keep coming back to the Gila Wilderness. But I think I am kind of done with the Middle Fork and West Fork of the Gila River for a while. What I want to do is come back and explore some other parts. I know the west part of the Gila Wilderness is all burned, just trashed, and some of the trails have been kind of a little bit rebuilt, but most of them are just being lost to nature, is my understanding. But I do want to go out there. I want to go out to the west part of the Gila Wilderness and just explore. I just need to research it and kind of do some exploratory hikes first. But anyway, that is going to be the end of my commentary on this trip. It's been a long day, so it's time for food. Guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. I know I look very gray right now. It dawned on me that I have a gray backpack and a gray fleece and gray shorts. So I look like I'm wearing some kind of weird uniform. All right, say goodbye to Camp 4. Trail is just a little ways through here. I'm a little cold, sun hasn't come out yet. Oh, what a mess. Very deep swimming hole over here. I mean, definitely deep enough to swim in. Thanks to a beaver dam. Lots of beaver dams along these rivers. See that opening up there? That's a cliff dwelling. We'll go take a quick look at that. So this was my last campsite of the trip on the video I did in 2019 of this place. And I was right next to these cliff dwellings. Oh, cool. A scum puddle. Let's see if I can hop these rocks. It's usually easier just to... Okay, that one seems stable. That one seems not as stable. Let's see. Let's do this. Oh. I know it's totally pointless, but I kept my feet dry on that crossing. Sea of green. Nice little swimming pool there. If you want to swim in some real cold water. Nice vertical rock face. I think I'm only like 1.5 to 2 miles from the car. There's this kind of long stretch of ponderosa pine forest you have to walk through in between the cliff dwellings and the West Fork Trail. I think this is our second to last crossing, or maybe the last crossing of the West Fork. This is probably one of the deeper ones. But it was still only ankle deep. So we're gonna walk briefly through the Cliff Dwellings National Monument. Bunch of beaver dams, beaver ponds next to the Cliff Dwellings. Alright, I'm about to end the video here. I'm just about to the Gila Cliff Dwellings. It's kind of a crowded area, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I had a really good trip on this one. It was a little on the shorter side for this area. I feel like the Gila Wilderness is kind of conducive to long trips. Yeah, still enjoyed it. So anyway, I will be back to the Gila Wilderness eventually. So stay tuned. Anyway, like if you like, and subscribe for more. See you next time.